Hello and welcome to the show today. This is the College Investor Audio Show. We're so honored that you are here with us today as we take a look at this topic. The Education Department is exposing tens of millions in COVID-era fraud. Are you shocked? Me either. But that is our topic for today and very interesting discussion. If you want to take a look at any other topic we talk about on the podcast, check out the archives. And as you do, just know that there's always an article associated with it where you can dive deeper on the topic at thecollegeinvestor.com. You can also like and follow and all the clicky things you do on social media. Just type in the words The College Investor, and you'll find us pretty much wherever you are. We'll be there too. All right, let's check this out now. The U.S. Department of Education, working with its Office of Inspector General, sounds important, says it has uncovered tens of millions of dollars in fraud and mismanagement tied to COVID-19 pandemic relief funds. I'm not shocked, but this is part of the Trump administration's broader push to kind of crack down on waste across all federal education programs. Here's why it matters. Congress distributed roughly $190 billion in elementary and secondary school emergency relief, or ESSER, I'm just going to say ESSER, funds across 3 rounds between 2020 and 2021. This is more than 3 times what the federal government typically spends on K-12 education annually. The department says much of it kind of went out with weak safeguards and reduced oversight, which created, of course, openings for scammers. The cases so far, OIG investigations have flagged specific instances of fraud and mismanagement in multiple states. The Puerto Rico Department of Education used $3.9 million in ESSER funds on services that were never delivered as required and failed to support student academic progress. A maintenance director at Boone County Schools in West Virginia, along with his parents and a contractor, defrauded the school district out of $3.4 million through falsified documents and overbilled janitorial products that were either barely delivered or never delivered at all. That puke powder's pretty expansive. The Wisconsin Department of Public Instruction improperly approved over $20 million in American Rescue Plan emergency assistance to 184 ineligible, non-public schools. Whoops. So here's how this connects. Okay, so the fraud crackdown comes alongside a broader shakeup at the Department of Education that directly affects student loan borrowers and families. The Department of Education has been highlighting its crackdown on ghost students and financial aid fraud. The department said it had prevented $1 billion in attempted student aid fraud since January of 2025. Meanwhile, the College Investor has been tracking the ripple effects of pandemic-era policy across borrower repayment, too. Federal data shows us that 7.7 million borrowers with $180 billion in student loans are now in default as of December 2025, Merry Christmas, after years of paused payments left many borrowers disconnected from their servicers and confused about their obligations and on and on. Nearly 12 million borrowers, 12 million, are delinquent or in default. That's more than a quarter of the federal portfolio. The question of accountability extends in both directions, too, holding institutions responsible for misspending dollars from taxpayers, while also addressing a student loan system where millions of borrowers are struggling to re-enter repayment after all the years of disruptions and failed restart attempts. Here's the bigger picture. Most K-12 education funding is local, from counties, cities, and states. The $190 billion in ESSER funds was the largest ever federal investment in K-12 education. While the majority of funds went toward reopening schools, tutoring, and mental health support, boy, that was needed. The sheer scale of the spending distributed quickly during a crisis, of course, just made it a target for all kinds of fraud. A Government Accountability Office, GAO, report confirmed that most spending went to legitimate student needs, good, but they did flag weak oversight at the state and district levels as kind of an ongoing concern here. The pattern mirrors what happened across other pandemic relief programs. The White House's own chief coordinator for stimulus spending acknowledged publicly that immense fraud took place across federal pandemic relief. And we've heard the stories. It's nuts. Here's what to watch out for. The department says additional crackdowns are expected in 2026, with the OIG continuing to audit how states and districts actually used the $190 billion in funds before the spending deadline expired. So keep an eye on whether more states face clawback demands for misspent funds and whether the department's fraud prevention efforts extend to tighter oversight of how the remaining federal student aid pipeline operates moving forward. And as always, we will keep an eye on things. You can always follow and like and everything on social media. Just search for The College Investor. You're going to find us. We'd love to help you wherever you are in your money journey, whether it's with student loan repayment or anything else money related. Just drop us a line and we'll help you along wherever you are. That's what we do. Thanks so much for dropping by today, and we'll talk to you again real soon.